Here. We've got, I'm going to let in Trey real quick, who had something really interesting to point out about the 360 version of Titanfall in our little internal chat here.
Trey.
Hey, Trey.
Hi. I quickly checked, and Bluepoint is developing it. They developed Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, Ico and Shadow Colossus Collection, and PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale for Vita.
Some of I mean, look, especially the job that was done on Shadow and Eco was a phenomenal job.
What's interesting is that two of those, Metal Gear and the Team Eco games, were ports forward to a more powerful system. But then again, I guess
this is obviously going in
right. But I guess All Stars for the Vita was also going in that direction. So that's interesting.
I mean, Bluepoint. I want to be fair. I think I made some heavy implications. I want to retreat from a little bit. I don't think Bluepoint. The way that Titanfall has been discussed, and Nick spoke to this point, that there's a lot that's happening in the cloud. Whether or not that's going to be. Ooh, you know what, Trey? I think you have your volume up. You want to turn that down on your computer?
We're hearing an echo that we weren't before.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
No problem at all.
Are you hearing anything now?
Yep, we're golden.
Okay.
Awesome. I think that it's whether or not there's something inherent in Titanfall that really is designed for a next-gen system or for the cloud computing or for whatever the hell it is, that, you know, when you remove that, a way to kind of re-simulate it on a last-gen system, if that's going to cause the problem. I think that's kind of the big head-scratcher that's out there. But Trey, thank you so much for, doing research that I probably should have done. Okay.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm a college student. I'm used to it.
Oh, yeah. What year in college?
I'm a junior. Right now at Penn State.
Penn State. And then what's your major?
Administration of Justice. I'm hopefully eventually become a lawyer.
All right. I'm married to a lawyer.
Oh.
Enjoy law school. It's a blast.
I've heard. Speaking of Titanfall, I did not get to go, but my brother, he got the alpha on his Xbox One, and he enjoyed every second of it.
Yep.
My question he got was, he wanted me to ask you, was the fact Microsoft just purchased the Gears franchise and have all rights to them. Do you see something similar happen with Titanfall, especially since I don't want to say shoved, but they kind of, that Shang heist that they canceled or they put under wraps for the new Gears of War project? Do you see them as...
Black Tusk was working on that earlier game. They've now been given Gears. And you're wondering... Go on, Trey. Sorry.
Titanfall fits into that mold quite well because that's a new IP. It's it looks already to be a very successful IP as long as everything turns out well, which it should. And with everything going on, if it sells like it's a lot of analysts are predicting, it could easily fit that mold for a brand new IP for a new generation.
I mean, I think it could. Are you thinking that Microsoft might buy it like they bought the Gears IP?
Similar? I know that might be a stretch.
So, you guys, a few years back, there was, I think, EA Partners. And that's where Brutal Legend came from. Actually, Kingdoms of Amalur. I'm thinking of... There were some other high-profile games. That Rock Band was inside of that program. So what was unique about that is the developer got to own the IP. Which is a very, very uncommon thing. Usually, you're giving up the rights of the IP to the publisher. Respawn is the last of that program. So Respawn actually owns the Titanfall IP. So in theory, Microsoft could buy it. But there are if this game becomes a hit,
they're not.
That's a lot of valuable stuff you now own.
Especially because we're talking about like Vince and remember all the Modern Warfare controversy, the whole lawsuit with Activision. Like, I think they've been burned before with an IP that wasn't as wholly theirs as they might have wanted.
Exactly. Actually, it's so interesting. My colleague Arthur Geese over at Polygon made a very astute comment on Twitter yesterday. That imagine if the sci-fi shooter that Infinity Ward wanted to make under Activision, if Activision let them do it, because we wouldn't have Titanfall, we wouldn't have Destiny. And it's a very, very interesting. I mean, it's just so funny that these things that seem like such a shock, that the kind of ripple effect all these years later, might be a benefit to all of us. So Trey, it's an interesting point. I will bet you, assuming that Titanfall does what I think it's going to do as well, which is to succeed quite well, a lot of people are going to be knocking on their door trying to figure that out. And one of them is going to be EA. So there might be an interesting story to follow after the launch of Titanfall. I think that's a way of looking at it.